guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a homeschool curriculum that I'm going to be using with Allie Jo next year. I'm pretty excited about it. I have used their handwriting in the past, and the curriculum is called, I don't know if you can see that, it is A Reason for Handwriting. We've really enjoyed this handwriting through the years. I've used it with my son and my daughter. It's laid out really well. What it does is it has practice for each day. There's practice for each day of the week. So there's a Monday, Tuesday, day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. And once you've gone through all the days, day 4 is actually an entire scripture verse. So in the back of the book, there is a page that has some coloring, like area for them to color, and they'll write their scripture verse in cursive or manuscript, whichever that you're doing. And then that's the last lesson for that week. The nice thing about this is that when you get finished with it at the end of the year, you have 36 sheets that they've colored and written out a scripture verse. It's just a nice thing for your portfolio for the end of the year review. One of the things that I did is I always just took a picture of her work, and each week we would write a note together to someone, like a relative, maybe an aunt and uncle that are out of state, and then she would fold up her work that she did that week and send it to them. It was just a nice little coloring page that she wrote, and also like the memory verse written in cursive or manuscript, and it was just a nice little way to share with our family that's out of state. So that was the curriculum that we started to learn a little bit more about A Reason For. A Reason For has expanded over the years, and they now have handwriting, spelling, science, and also a reading curriculum. And their reading curriculum is really cool. I almost wish that I had a new younger child to teach reading to, just so that I could go back and use this curriculum. I said almost. It's such a neat curriculum, but we're going to be using the handwriting. The other one that we're going to be using is spelling. And the spelling is really cool. It actually has the teacher guidebook to help you guide you through it. And I will say, I think you could probably use this curriculum without the teacher guidebook, but I wouldn't recommend it. As I look through the teacher guidebook, there is so much information in this book. I mean, it is just jam-packed with so much help to navigate you through the spelling curriculum. I can't imagine not using it. It has a story that goes along with it through the year. It also explains each section. It has, there are sentences that they have to write that you say out loud to them as they write it. You really need this teacher guidebook. So I'm excited to use this curriculum next year and see what I think. It has a lot of workbook pages with it. And some different, here's like, you know, they have to find the misspelled word in the group. They've really done their research and figured out what the best ways for kids to learn to spell, to not just learn to spell to memorize the words, but to learn to actually look at a word and recognize something's not right there. That word is not spelled right. So they can unscramble words, they can match words, they can do, you know, figure out which one is the mistake, they can write them in sentences. They just give them so many different ways of learning these spelling words through the years, and I think it's a really great format for spelling. So then that brings me to the curriculum that I am most excited about using this year, because Allie Jo, science is probably her least favorite thing, usually because it is heavy on the reading. And so I started looking into a reason for science because it is actually a little different than the normal science curriculum. How they do it, there are 36 lessons in the book, and the teacher guidebook is really helpful to guide you through everything that you need to do. So in your kit you get the student workbook, the teacher guidebook, and you also get this, which this is like my favorite part of this curriculum. This is the whole thing that pulls it together. Now, with this kit, it does get a little pricey, but I'm telling you, it is so worth it. Like when I started looking at what it would cost me to buy all the things inside this kit, it's so worth it to have it like inside this little plastic container. It's all of your supplies for doing all the experiments through the entire book. Everything is in here. The only thing that's missing, and they actually show you at the back of the book, they give you a list of what you will need that week, and it's all things that you would typically have around your house just normally, like fingernail polish remover, a banana, sticky labels, a stopwatch, which you have on your phone, tweezers. So it's just things that you would typically have in your home. Any of the stuff that you would not typically have around, it's all in this box. They do have a couple, like in each of the boxes, they will put notes in to let you know if something has been changed. They're letting us know that it calls, in lesson 21, it calls for a small syringe case, and it has been substituted with a water tube. So that's good to know. And then the other thing that they do is her first experiment uses peanuts, and they do not put the peanuts in because of the potential for allergic reaction. So those have not been provided, so you have to get the peanuts for the kit. But I just love the fact that it's all in this nice little plastic container, all ready for you just to pull out and do your science. And all you need are these two books and you can get started. Each lesson is laid out really easy. Right on Monday morning when you get up, you'll open up to your lesson. So first thing on Monday morning, you will go over your specific topic for the week, what your objective is, and it'll give you a brief overview. And then it will get right into what to do, which is your experiment. So then you do your experiment, and it goes down the page and it gives you step by step. So when you're finished with your experiment, you will get to the part about what happened. What happened, basically in this section, it introduces the scientific terminology, which is highlighted in blue, and it expands on the key concept, showing the students how all of this from the experiment applies to the real world. After you go over this with your child, you will have them do the 5 follow-up questions in the student work critical, in the what we learned section. So they will answer the 5 questions in the what we learned section. And those go on over to the next page. So it really expands on that. Okay, so then you will have a conclusion. So each lesson contains a final review summarizing the basic science concept covered. Each week includes a scripture object lesson that ties directly to the science concept that they explored. And then there is a journaling section at the bottom where the students create and refer back to individual science journals with sketches and personal notes. The thing that I really love about this is you can also, in the teacher book, if you don't feel like this is enough meat for your child, you feel like that's just not enough, at the back of each of in the back of the lesson in the teacher guidebook, it gives you an extended teaching, which is right here. And it gives you lots of different examples for things that you can do to expand on this science. So it gives you ideas for them to do a bulletin board, or to create a poster, you know, explaining. This one recommends George Washington Carver. Maybe you can, let's see, so use the internet and have students research so they can write a research paper. They give you another example of a bulletin board, and just different things that we have them make a map showing primary cultivation areas for one crop. So they give you many different ideas of how to expand and elaborate on your lesson if you don't feel like it's enough. And you can go in your own direction with this too. You know, we can pull books from the library that interest her, to correlate with each lesson. But if we're having a busy week, we don't have to do those extended teachings. We can choose that week to kind of take a break from that. So I love the layout of this. I'm really excited to try it, and I'm hoping that it works out for us just because of the convenience factor of it. My son is in high school this year, and we are going to be switching up his science as well, and I'll be discussing that with you in another lesson. This curriculum goes through 8th, 9th grade, so they don't have a science curriculum for his high school yet. I don't know if they're planning on doing that in the future or not, but they don't right now. So we're going to go a different route with his science, and I'll talk to you about that in another upcoming video. But as we use this curriculum, I will be coming back in to give you my final review and let you know what we think of it. It'll probably take us about 6 months or so before I can get a good feel for whether we really love it or not. I do know that I love the handwriting. I've always loved it. I think hands down it is my favorite handwriting that we ever used. We did use a Becca handwriting also, but this was my favorite. And the reason being, I really love the sheets at the back, that they can kind of make it like a project and make it, you know, it makes them feel important. You can post it up on the refrigerator, you can mail it to a friend. I really love the handwriting. So I can't imagine that I'm not going to love this curriculum, but I will give you my true, honest opinion on it once we have used it and let you know what I think of it. I know that they are going to be at our local convention, so if you go to a homeschool convention, I would recommend stopping by their booth and checking them out. Take a look at it. I've been really impressed with it, and I'm excited to try it out and let you know what I think. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.